treacherous I ever. Different stuff that acts like I don't pain deep in my eyes, they know it's real. Yeah, been dead.
Menu narration option is set to off.
Blessing after testing, I'ma show them skill. I know I'm ill. Stories treacherous, I effortlessly show them skills. Yeah. I do this for the family, I might just blow my wheels. I keep it so for real. Who told you to chill? Run through the code to chill. Stories treacherous, I effortlessly show them skills. Yeah. Let's go. At first off the edge like I don't know no feel. See that pain deep in my eyes, they know it's real. Yeah. Right before the
I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind. 5 days straight, no rest, oh well. I don't need no scale. I've been on my, I don't need no help. Always getting money, rain, snow, sleet, hell. Keep it on me 'cause my name ring bells. People see me and can't help themselves. See me and themselves. I wouldn't wanna be anybody else. I never used to think I'd be a magazine cover. They keep on trying to find new ways to push my buttons. I came out of the jungle where it rained and it thundered, but I bring the heat like the summer. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind. 5 days straight, no rest, oh well. I don't need no scale. I've been on my, I don't need no help. Always getting money, rain, snow, sleet, hell. Every day I work my thumb, I don't get to take off. A hater get up, I'm ready like lift off. I never been nowhere, but I'm ready to stay gone. Nothing ever lasts long, I'm always beating the odds. Taking all these trips, I had to go and get a passport. I'm just trying to live, I don't know what the mad for. I just had to do it, got a really big bag for it. Still at your mama crib, ain't getting money, you gotta ask for it. Tired of complaining, I gotta change my situation. Looking at the view outside, I thought I would never make it. Every day, take, but that don't stop the money making. If you want it, go and take it, ain't no.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles as they match up with the great Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers.
And we come to you from one of the truly iconic stadiums in the NFL as you get a look at Lambeau Field here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Tonight it's on to Week 4 as we've got a good Thursday night matchup in store between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers. 2-1-2 teams, each hoping to get back to 500, and we're underway in Week 4. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Packers take the field. Aaron Rodgers at the helm. 2019 marking his 12th season as the Packers starter. 15th season overall. Last year for Rodgers, 25 touchdown passes, just 2 interceptions. They'll go with their leading rusher from a season ago. This is Aaron Jones. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Nigel Bradham brings him down. And now the offensive starters for the Packers.
It's tough to be an offensive lineman in Green Bay because their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, knows how to keep plays alive and often extends them for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. But David Bakhtiari, his left tackle, he does it as well as anyone could ever expect. Excellent footwork, knows that the plays are going to stay alive for a long time. Often will get 2 or 3 blocks on the same play.
15 yards on the play, first down. Just the first quarter, the tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I had missed him, it would have been a long night.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. Third down here. After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at the 20. Now a 2-time 1,000-yard rusher for the Bears. This is Jordan Howard. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now this one complete on the slant route. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now Wentz throwing on second down. Jackson's got it over the middle. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
On second down, here's Wentz. He's going to rifle one deep left side, and that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So they'll walk him back half the distance. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now it's the all-purpose back. This is Darren Sproles twisting away. Kevin King coming up from the secondary to make the play.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
This is Howard on second down. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
14 yards there and an Eagle first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
A good run by Jordan Howard, and now another 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough. And here's motion again. And that's going to be 2 in a row. Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. Second down and long. And now a pass dumped off to his running back. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a first down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their performance.
Playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
On first down, Wentz. And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, his third touchdown now on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Now, this is a crew, they've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you're really out here in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. You know, get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now it's Rodgers. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And that is incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. Jordan Howard and the rest of the offense heading back out there. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as the season moves on.
And I'm sure he said challenge accepted. Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football as they've got it with a 2nd and 13 forthcoming.
Big stop, let's go. Check 13. Check 13.
On second down now, it's Howard. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
As I watch that play unfold, stereotypes were being broken left and right. As a corner, you're often back there guarding against the pass. But how about that diagnosis and read and getting into the backfield and making a nice play and a tackle?
On third and long, it's Wentz. the throw there going to be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And it'll be Packer football here, first down and 10. So good starting field position for them here as they come up first and 10. So here are the Packers now to take over. They've got the lead here, trying to make amends for that loss last week against the Denver Broncos. They start this drive now first and 10.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a gain of 16 and a first down for the green and gold.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving him a whole lot of credit and thanking him for that much space to rumble.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. On second down, it's Jones. He showed some tough running, but they'll drop him at the 5-yard line. 8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Hey, let's get in that hole.
Rodgers going to try and throw on 3rd down. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these deep.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Jordan Howard and the rest of the offense heading back out there. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. They'll begin the drive with Howard. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. From the gun, it's Wentz. Packer pressure, and down he goes. Preston Smith comes in for the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz in trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Taco Charlton. He's the one to get him this time, and back-to-back sacks brings up 4th down.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
A big boot that time, 57 yards the official distance. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So good field position for the Packers as they come up 1st and 10. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Derek Barnett able to maneuver in for the sack. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
After the sack on first down, Rodgers incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. They get Elton Jenkins, the second rounder from Mississippi State. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Here's Rodgers. And this is caught. It's Jimmy Graham. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3 our score. Coming up at the half, a reminder we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either. Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. The 30, 10, touchdown, Philadelphia. Wow, sensational 95 yards on the punt return. And the Eagles are able to strike quickly for 6. What a risk he took. But it paid off. I mean, he took that punt from inside the 5 near the goal line, ran it all the way back. And normal coaching says you let that one go. Anytime you're inside the 10-yard line, you let it hit and hopefully bounce into the end zone. But as you mentioned, he took a risk, and boy, did it pay off in a big way. I wonder if they let up a little bit going downfield thinking that there was no way he was going to return that one. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Here we go.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so well. Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Rodgers now on first down. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Rodgers now going to throw again. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
And a good rally to the football there as it looks as if they're going to stop him a couple yards shy of the marker.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop. That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Yeah, this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Wentz. And complete to Zach Ertz. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On the toss play, Howard. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. The Eagles will take their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. They'll keep it on the ground again here. Burst by him near the 35. 9 yards to pick up there.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete. Blake Martinez, the linebacker, was there in coverage to disrupt. Back to the air on 2nd down. Wentz. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. Here's the correct call.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Hey, exit.
Throwing now is Wentz. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. The Eagles on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Now Wentz. He's going to go for it all. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So that PI call will give them one more play.
And it'll be an untimed play as well. Now the half will end after this one, unless there's another defensive penalty.
A final shot before half for Wentz. And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Carson Wentz with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. McManus's point after is good. All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the 3rd quarter gets underway. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So here are the Eagles to take over. They lost 2 straight coming in, but good news for them right now. They've got the lead and the football. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. Now a quick slant as the throw's complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. On 2nd down, it's Howard, and he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
On 2nd down now, it's Howard. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a first down. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
They will get 4 yards here on the first down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Kenny Clark gets him for a loss of 8. What great push up front.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, that forced the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. They could not contain Kenny Clark as he gets home for the sack.
To me, the defense was looking a little gassed near the end of the first half, but they've come out of the locker room with a little extra spring in their step. Wonder what they did at halftime to get them so motivated.
I don't know, but that sack looked good. Now let's see if they can build on the momentum of that play. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Now a draw play. This is Jones. And just not a ton of room to work with. He'll get it to the 15 for a gain of 2. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Rodgers now to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off.
Come on, fellas.
Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. On first down, they run with Howard. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The throw by Wentz, caught by Jackson. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Here's a quick hitch route, and the throw complete. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Wentz now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Wentz. And this is Ertz with it, right side. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Again, they'll throw with Wentz. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
And when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Here we go. 120. What's this on? Hey, empty.
On 1st and goal, Howard. And he's in. Touchdown. Jordan Howard. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles able to push further out in front.
And we know they won't get their names in the stat sheet, but the offensive line has to get all the credit for that touchdown run. Tremendous job of blocking, paving the way for the 6 points.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And right now, these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Back now at Lambeau. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. On 2nd and 1, Rodgers. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
Here's a throw out wide complete to his running back right side. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. The loss of 3 on that 1st down pass play, now 2nd and 13.
Strip that ball.
We didn't do that.
Rodgers to throw once more. And complete to Lewis over the middle. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives them much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
And again, it's Rodgers. And that will be incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And he's got Hireman. And he will have the 1st down as he gets this to the 47. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Rodgers now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. A good-looking drive for the Packers so far. It's a 1st down. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Rodgers again now. Incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
It's a loss of 10 yards on the play, and it'll make this a 2nd and long.
False start, offense.
Now they nab the rookie there for the 5-yard penalty.
So much going through his head. You know it just has to be, right? All of his assignments and realizing every game he plays, one of the better players in the league will be opposite him.
The 2nd down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. On the delay, Jones. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
This first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the 4th quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
On first, they go right back to Howard. That good for 22 and a 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Throwing on first is Wentz. Jeffrey with a catch left side. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Now it's Sproles. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here 1st and 10. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
We got three.
They go with Howard again. And they'll get him down right around the 16. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down. The Eagles on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 4.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. After the false start, sets up a 3rd and 9. Throwing is Wentz. And he connects with Ertz. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he gets halfway there from the 4 to the 2 on a gain of 2. So fly, Eagles, fly. It's a victory for Philadelphia. And you look back over the score sheet, interesting. A very clean game, no turnovers by either side.
An absolute rarity when we watch